As my colleague has just said, Bill C-525 sets the bar so high for workers to join a union that the sponsor of the bill, who won in his own riding by over 80% of the vote in the last election, could not get elected under these rules for union certification. In fact, not a single member of the governing party would be elected under these same rules. So it is clearly hypocritical, it's clearly unfair, it's clearly designed to undermine the ability of working people to decide to have a collective voice to negotiate on their behalf and to represent them in the workplace. What their desire to do with this bill is, in fact, to stifle democratic debate and democratic participation in our federal jurisdiction workplaces. So it does seem to go hand in hand with their standard procedure. Ultimately, what they'd like to do is see a decline in union representation federally in this country. And I think what Canadians will very quickly see, Mr. Speaker, is that as we've seen in the United States, this will be an attack on middle-class living standards in this country, as working people will earn less, they'll have fewer rights in the workplace, less democratic input into the place where they spend most of their lives, which is the workplace. And so it will undermine middle-class standard of living. It will increase inequality, and it doesn't have to be that way. If you look at some of the most productive, some of the most competitive countries in the world, you can look at some of the Scandinavian countries, countries like the Netherlands, like Germany, the powerhouse of Europe, that have incredibly high levels of union representation. And what that means is employers and employees sit down together and they negotiate. Everyone wants the workplace to do well. It wants the company to succeed, for working people to have their fair share. That's what union representation is about. And I say shame on the government if they pursue this anti-union, anti-worker, anti-middle class agenda. We won't stand for it on this side of the House.